guys, Eric Janicki back here with another video. Oh my god, I feel bad. It is Sunday morning here and I'm sure people are like drinking their coffees right now and they're like, what was that? So we'll bring the energy down a little bit. So what to do today is 5 exercises that you need to be doing to grow your upper chest. Chest has always been something that's been hard for me to grow. I used to have a big bench press, my chest was not very big. So I kind of realized that I need to focus more on the hypertrophy, focusing on varying my workouts. So hope you guys love this. Without further ado, here are my top 5 upper chest building exercises. Let's go. The first exercise I'm gonna show you, what we're gonna do is a fly variant on the cables. What you need to focus on cable work is 2 things. Time under tension, which is that really what you want to get that contraction, and range of motion. So the second part of that is really opening up the muscle, getting that full range of motion of the rep so you can really get the full contraction in your chest. So this is gonna be a little bit of a different variant that you've probably done before. You're gonna put the cables around mid-height. We're gonna step out a good 2 to 3 feet from the cables, stagger stance, good open chest. We're gonna push out and we're gonna turn our hands into a V at the top of the rep, and you can see my chest just explode from that very first rep. And you wanna have a weight that you can hold here. If you can't hold it here for the first rep, too heavy. We're gonna get a super slow negative, drag it right down the sides. Big stretch, open up the chest, drive, squeeze. 2, 3, 4, 4 count hold, slow and negative. And that time under tension is gonna be so important on getting that contraction in the chest. So if you get here and you're falling backwards already or you can't balance, or the other thing is you're rounding your shoulders to do the weight, you have too heavy. So here, slow, stretch, 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 drive, explode, squeeze, slow in the back. Really good control here. We're gonna go for 8 to 10 reps here. Once you get to almost failure, I want you to speed them up and hit what's called 4 to 5 burnout reps. So basically you've hit failure point at the hold. And I want you to speed them up. And hit 5 and even up to 10 of those failure reps, because what that's gonna do is you're at failure, you're at pre-exhaustion with that hold rep, and then you're gonna speed them up, hit those exhaustion reps, and really get that hypertrophy, which means breaking down the muscle, bring it back bigger, stronger. All right, second exercise, guys, we're gonna do a crossover downward single arm cable fly. These are great because here's center mass. If we're gonna be here, you can go across center mass with your arm and get that extra contraction. And if somebody says flex your chest, right, you go like this, right? Look at your arms. That's how I'm gonna get my best chest flex, right here when I cross my arms, opposed to here, so you can see how much more contraction you're getting. So that's the same principle. So I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna come down and across. Always arch your back on chest exercise. If you round, you're gonna take it in your shoulders. So you wanna always be here. Retract the scap, arch the back, push through, cross all the way across your body. You can see I'm simulating that movement where I was trying to flex my chest as hard as I could. I'm going cross body, slow negative, as always. Big stretch, as always. And across. See how I get that huge contraction here? I can feel it right there. And so I'm gonna get slow negative. Same thing, if it's a weight you can't hold, at the opposite side of the rep, too heavy. Really find that good body leverage too, to stay over what's called over the weight, meaning you're not so upright that you're doing this. You wanna be here. Nice angle, keeping leverage over that cable weight and really squeezing across. Same thing, get to about the 8 to 10 failure reps and then speed them up. What I tell people when they're going to the gym, never be afraid to fail. If you're afraid to fail going to the gym, you're not gonna do well. You need to get to those breaking points, those plateaus, and push through them in order to continue to progress. All right, guys, third exercise we're gonna do is something you've probably seen before. It's basically an upward fly from a low position on the cables. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you 2 different variants. One that's the kind of traditional sense. The other one is a single arm crossbody variant, kind of utilizing that cross center mass principle. Here's our first variant. So right here, both the bottom placement, we're gonna step out, slight stagger stance. We're gonna be a little more upright on these than we were with our other movements we've done so far. Since we're coming from a low position, we're gonna come up, squeeze here at the top. Same thing, if you can't hold it at the top for at least a rep, too heavy. Big stretch, open up the chest, drive, really focusing on that upper chest contraction. You can see it right there, then I'm really getting that good contraction, keeping the chest. If you start to round your shoulders over the movement, like that, you're not taking chest anymore, it's gonna be all shoulders. So that's the first variant. The second variant is alternating singles. So I'm actually gonna set my feet even on the second variant, and we're gonna go one at a time, cross center. So here, cross center, big squeeze. Same thing other side. Big squeeze. Cross center, really focusing on that inner upper chest and slow on the negative. One big burnout you can do on these is half rep burnouts at the bottom of the rep. Some of my favorites. So you get to failure on those, arch back, half reps. You can still see I'm getting a huge chest contraction. And it's just that principle of just hitting that complete failure point. So if you want big upper chest, try those two variants. All right, now we're gonna go to two dumbbell exercises, which are some of my favorites. So this one's called what I like to call around the world fly. So it's a little bit complicated, so bear with me on this one. So what I'm gonna do is put the incline on about 30%, and then we're gonna come here. We're gonna start in that fly position. Remember, with anything back of chest, we wanna have a really good arch in the back. So I set my feet back and really focus on that arch in my back. Slow negative, we're gonna start with the fly movement. One where I can get a really good stretch. And then I'm gonna actually rotate the dumbbells in over my kind of midsection, squeezing in the middle. So I'm squeezing the chest, back out and around. It's all about control on this movement, not about the weight. Up and squeeze. So to put it in perspective, it's about 17.5 kilos, so that'd be about 36, 37 pounds on these for me, which for a normal fly is pretty light, but for these, with so much about control, bringing it in, squeezing, and then slow on the out, the weight isn't as important. And see how big of a stretch I can get with this weight? And that's all of this movement's all about that range of motion. So here, big stretch, then start the rotation and squeeze in. The biggest mistakes I see people do when I teach in this movement is start rotating early. So they'll come here and then they'll start doing this before they even get to the bottom. First, think about it as a fly movement first. So fly movement first, huge stretch. Now I'm at the bottom of my fly, now I'm gonna rotate. Squeeze, look it in, back out and around, back to that fly movement again, and then up. So see, it's fly movement, rotation, back to fly movement. So I'm gonna show you one more time. Fly movement, slow negative, arch back, retract the scapula, in, rotate in. Now you can pick up your head, squeeze the chest. You really see that chest contraction there. Elbows tucked to the sides, back out and around, big stretch, and up. And this is just such an intensive movement because of the fact that when you get that rotation, you're coming in and you're getting that really big squeeze in your chest. So you gotta be controlled on this. If you go too heavy, all you're gonna do is feel shoulder, risk injuring yourself, so really be careful on this one. All right guys, fifth exercise we're gonna do here is finish out again on a dumbbell movement. So what we're gonna do is a rotational press. So we're actually gonna go from supinated and rotate up to pronated. The reason for that is because you're gonna open up your chest with that stretch, and then when you rotate through on that press, you're gonna really get that turning the shoulder and pinky over it. Gonna get that chest contraction at the top. You can see it really flex there when I go like that. So what we're gonna do is grab our same dumbbells, same incline here. I prefer the incline for most chest exercises, especially if I'm trying to build upper chest. Flat is gonna be more mid to lower, and then decline obviously lower. So doing here is gonna start with palms facing out, lower back arch. We're gonna come down and in, slow negative, stretch, rotate back up, and squeeze, same thing. So when I wanna come down, tucking the elbows to the sides, huge stretch at the bottom, as much as is comfortable, because that's gonna open up those fibers of the chest, and then push it back out, up, and squeeze. Super slow negative, 4 to 6 count, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, feel that huge stretch, rotate back out of it, and squeeze. Remember, push up and in and squeeze the chest at the top. that's gonna be huge at the end of your rep. So what I'm gonna do here is probably 10 to 12 with that negative, and then I'm gonna speed them up for burnouts. And that burnout principle is really important, like we talked about earlier, of just taking that to the absolute failure point. Hope you guys have loved this series. I'm gonna do a lot more videos like this. If you like this, remember to go comment, like, subscribe to my channel. Without further ado, have a great day.